Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Helen Liao. Thank you for joining us. Coming up in the show today, New York City volunteers are distributing aid supplies to Hurricane Sandy victims in Garrison Beach, Staten Island, and Long Island. Meanwhile, New Jersey City volunteers are also distributing cash cards and relief items to storm survivors in Little Ferry, Union Beach, and South Toms River. And in our featured reports on Taiwan's fading trades, we meet 45-year-old motorbike repairman Chen Wuliang. First up, in the United States, to help Hurricane Sandy victims in the Garrison Beach area in Brooklyn, New York City volunteers held a relief distribution at the Garrison Beach Elementary School. In just one day, a total of 712 households received financial support from Tzu Chi. At 7 o'clock in the morning, Tzu Chi volunteers are heading to Garrison Beach in Brooklyn, yet the roads turn out to be unexpectedly challenging as it is blocked by flood-damaged cars. With the help from a few volunteers, the cars are pushed aside.
Lost 3 of them. This one, the one on the driveway, and they already towed one away.
In spite of the road conditions, the volunteers still arrived at Garrison Beach Elementary School on time to conduct the relief distribution.
I just want to welcome all of you, and I'm so happy that you could come into our school today. And I know many of you still don't have heat, so I'm glad that you're in a warm place. Seeing the destruction from the storm, and yet I spoke to parents who still said they felt blessed, and that really touched me a lot. And just seeing all the giving that's going on, especially today, that the organization has come here, Sushi, I'm not sure if I'm saying it right, to help people they don't even know, and to give, truly give with their hearts. And I just think it's a perfect match for Thanksgiving. What I see here is giving for the sake of giving.
Apart from Tzu Chi's provision of $600 worth of cash cards, the New York City also handed out free entrance tickets to the annual Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade to the storm survivors.
I have 2,000 tickets. We're giving out tickets to the families to help them. Thanksgiving is a time for everybody to be with their families, and if we could help them in any way, try to make their lives a little bit happier and a smile on their face, that's a really good thing.
Thank you so much for the help. We appreciate it. And every one of you have had a smile on your face. It was nice to see you all. Keep on smiling.
When I saw Tzu Chi volunteers, I was like, finally there are Chinese people here to make a difference. I was really happy. I had told my mom that I was going to Tzu Chi's event today, and now I'm going to call her and I tell that everything is okay. I'm really moved.
If we hadn't been dating, he told me he would have married a Taiwanese.
Thank you very much.
All the good work that you do.
In just one day, 712 families received financial assistance from Tzu Chi, and volunteers vowed to return tomorrow to bring love and care to even more people. Also in the United States, in Staten Island, New York, a second large-scale aid distribution took place for the affected victims of Sandy, most of which have lost their homes.
I'm number 1, and I came at 1:15.
We're number 2 on the line, and we've been here since 1:15 this morning.
I'm number 3. I've been here from 3 o'clock.
The residents of Staten Island withstood the cold throughout the night as they waited for the start of Tzu Chi's distribution. For these victims, the $600 worth of cash cards is a lifeline in this time of need.
This is how I came. Wrapped up in my blanket. I have nowhere else to go. Water filled my whole apartment from floor to ceiling. Then the first floor, 3 feet. We had 15 feet of water in my house. These are the house keys to my house that are no longer there. Because at the end of the day, that's something that's the only piece I can really say I have left.
Difficult. Extremely difficult. Personally, I don't even like expressing it or talking about it, but horrible. But today's a better day. Today's definitely a better day.
10306 zip code was hit hard. Like it looked as if Hurricane Katrina hit us. We're trying to keep this as organized as possible. They're here helping us. Let's help them.
Having received the first ticket, after 9 hours of waiting in line, Cassie walked into the distribution site with a smile on her face.
Thank you so much.
Always holding up a cheerful and optimistic front, Cassie broke into tears the moment she received the cash cards from the Tzu Chi volunteers.
I just can't believe it. It's like people that never met you a day in your life can be so generous. Other people that actually need it. And you guys are more than a foundation looking to help you as a guardian angels, I swear.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for the help. And once we get back on our feet, this bottle will go back. So thank you.
No longer having to hide their sadness and sorrows, these victims let go of their emotions as Tzu Chi volunteers brought them comfort and warmth and soothed the once frightened hearts of these victims.
Over this past weekend, U.S. Tzu Chi volunteers in Long Island, New York, distributed cash cards to residents of Lindenhurst at the Edward W. Barrett Elementary School, helping 580 households.
Here at the distribution site, Tzu Chi volunteers and the girls' soccer team hold activities to lighten the mood, while residents wait for the distribution to begin.
Really, all I did was put out a text message to my team. The response was immediate. When do we need to be there? What do we need? Right now, there's probably 15 to 20, and throughout the day, they're going to be coming in shifts. So I think by the end of the day, we'll see upwards of 40 to 45 volunteers from the soccer league alone.
Not only did the soccer coach bring his team to assist with the distribution, but the supervisor of Babylon Town was also present to play a part in the rebuilding of the town.
The only way that we could get through a massive devastation like this is when we all come together, whether it be the government or private foundations like Tzu Chi Foundation. Government can't do this on its own. It's got to be friends and neighbors and family coming together as one world to try and help those who've suffered the worst during this devastation.
A total of 580 affected families each received $600 worth of cash cards. This is the first sum of emergency cash the victims have received since the disaster, and many finally have the chance to buy much-needed supplies.
With this money, I hope to get formula for the baby and diapers, and then my toothpaste. And
we're going to use the money mainly for food, to replenish what we've lost there, and then we're going to put it towards repairing our home.
On the evening of Thanksgiving, the relief aid is a blessing for the residents who now know they have not been forgotten.
As Thanksgiving is just around the corner, Tzu Chi volunteers arrived at Little Ferry in New Jersey to distribute cash card relief supplies and much-needed emotional support. As the relief materials arrived, Tzu Chi volunteers quickly unload the items. The chemistry between the volunteers ensures every step goes smoothly. A volunteer reminds everyone of the aid distribution procedures, as they hope this love from around the world can be given to those in need with a minimum of delay. To bring encouragement to the disaster victims, Tzu Chi volunteers put on their vision of the anthem God Bless America. Even though the storm has passed, people's hearts are still full with fear.
In the whole town, everybody lost everything. Cars, everything. I mean, it's very, very difficult. Especially if you don't have flood insurance and stuff like that, you don't have anything.
Through a short clip, the volunteers explained to the storm survivors where the environmental blankets come from.
Behind those recycling, the bottles were actually collected by our recycling volunteers in Taiwan.
Hurricane Sandy victims await for their turn to fill in the applications, while a little girl who's also a storm survivor tells the volunteer that she wants to help her friend.
His house broke, and then it's going to take a long time to fix it, and I want to give him some donations so he can fix it faster.
To help those in greater need, some children adopt a bamboo coin bank. Storm survivor Tracy also says she's thankful for the help.
Tomorrow's my birthday.
Oh yeah, happy birthday. I hope you're getting better.
This is
right. Yeah, this present. Okay, you're welcome.
Tzu Chi volunteer Wang Jingbi, who used to live in New Jersey, flew back to the U.S. hoping to contribute her share to help those in greater need.
I knew that Tzu Chi New Jersey chapter was holding distributions, so I had to come back to help. This time I brought my volunteer uniform with me.
As you know, we were hit very hard for the hurricane, and the people of our town have really experienced a lot of pain and devastation in the last couple of weeks. And your organization has come in today and helped so many people, and I am so grateful for everything that they have done. And your hearts are big, and we are so grateful for everything.
As Thanksgiving is just around the corner, Tzu Chi volunteers hope the cash cards and relief items can help the victims prepare for a happy holiday season. After carrying out a relief distribution in Little Ferry, Tzu Chi New Jersey chapter held a second round of relief distribution in Union Beach Borough. Upon receiving the relief items and cash cards, many residents were moved to tears.
At 7 a.m. in New Jersey's Union Beach, the temperature is 0 degrees Celsius. Regardless of the cold, Tzu Chi volunteers quickly moved the aid supplies to the distribution venue. Though it is still 3 hours before the aid distribution starts, many residents have already shown up. Union Beach is a borough of 4,000 people. After Hurricane Sandy struck, 80% of houses here were flooded. Jennifer was one of the victims.
And it's just a little bungalow, so I lost, all my furniture, all my appliances, and my house is inhabitable, so I'm not allowed to live there.
The victims offer each other encouragement while they wait, and one volunteer firefighter even posts a poster for pet adoption, hoping to help the victims get through these difficult times.
We got 4 kittens that we're going to be giving away to homes if anybody has lost any pets or anything like that. The number's here, you can leave a message.
Many residents soon gather in the venue and shed tears upon hearing "God Bless America."
Recovery, we'll all get back to normal and be the beautiful little town that we are, the greatest little town in the world. And we'll stick together and we'll be stronger. And thank you very much. We love you.
Actually, the preparation for aid distribution wasn't quite complete, as 2 days before the distribution, government agencies were still making their final confirmations on the disaster victims list. During the distribution, the volunteers used computers to reconfirm that the aid supplies are really going to those in need.
You're still okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. My daughter lost her house and everything, so I have her with me. I at least have a roof over my head, but just the charity and the generosity of everybody, it just overwhelms me.
My cars, we lost our cars, and my kids lost their clothes, but I mean, we're okay, and just bless everybody here, My heart goes out to other people that lost everything. So
what's your plan when you get a debit card?
Right now, I'm going to go get my kids some clothes.
I think that what Tzu Chi is doing is makes me want to cry from joy, because you're doing so much for the people, and there's no other way that they could get this.
No, thank you. Thank you.
As the residents keep flooding in, the volunteers continue to pack relief items to ensure everyone gets what they need. Hugging the volunteers, the victims return home not only with hands full of items, but also hearts full of love and care.
As Tzu Chi just finished an aid distribution last week in South Toms River, its mayor, Joseph Champagne, showed up at the distribution site at Union Beach Borough to pay the love forward.
At the distribution site, the care shown among victims is touching, as everyone seems willing to help each other, no matter how bad the situation. Doug doesn't live in New Jersey, yet when he heard of Tzu Chi's aid distribution in New York, he volunteered to help.
Because I know that if I was in the place of the people who live here and were washed out by the storm, that I would want someone to come along and help me.
Helping strangers in need is a core value here in the U.S. Outside the venue, there are donated supplies from across the country. As well, Union Beach Borough has organized community-based recovery events.
And we're also sending out hundreds of volunteers every day walking the streets, cleaning people's yards, and just helping them with anything they need help with.
Surprisingly, on the day of the aid distribution, the mayor of South Thames River Borough, Joseph Champagne, showed up to volunteer.
And this foundation demonstrated so much love and care that I, as the mayor of this town, I couldn't just stay in my town alone and let them go and continue that work by themselves.
Although he has lived in New Jersey for 10 years, Joseph has never come to this overwhelmingly white borough. But today, he has decided to put on a volunteer vest and set his position and race aside. As a government official, he keenly emphasizes with the victim's sorrow as he helps pack the relief items.
Okay, thank you.
As a volunteer, my plan is to spread as much love and peace and care as possible to those wonderful residents of Union Beach, and to make them feel as much as I can the sense of love and peace that I experienced when I had a chance to speak with Dharma Master Cheng Yang.
This Haitian mayor uses his smile, hugs, and actions to pass on Tzu Chi's great love to his fellow countrymen.
In today's featured reports on Taiwan's fading industry, we meet a motorbike repairman, 45-year-old Chen Wuliang. Chen began learning the skills to fix bicycle from his father when he was just 18.
Going through every part of the motorbike, Chen Wuliang is giving the abandoned vehicle a second lease on life.
I managed to fix this 18-year-old bike. It was originally going to be thrown out. Yes, it's 18 years old, and most customers would just abandon it.
Despite taking 2 days to fix the old bike and the little profit he makes, Chen is happy to extend the vehicle's lease on life.
If my customers are no longer using the bikes, I will just repair them. This is much more ideal and eco-friendly.
Standing beside him is Chen Wuliang's father, Chen Dongyi, who was a bicycle repairman himself. After graduating from elementary school, Chen decided to take on the family baton and learn how to fix motorbikes.
After he graduated, he thought that since he hadn't found a job, he would learn some skills. After he gained the skills, the more repair work he did, the better he became at it. There's always a rise and fall to each industry, and the economy hasn't been too great. So that's why I thought I should learn to fix both bicycles and motorbikes. It is better this way.
In the old days, most people made a living through handiwork, and the memory of when Chen first started as an apprentice is still fresh in his mind.
When we first started in the industry, we worked as apprentices, and at night, when we took off our pants before going to bed, they could actually stand on their own because of the grease. If the younger generation is interested in this industry, then they can continue on. If not, they are free to pursue another career. You cannot force it upon them. Even if we are in this industry, we can't ask our children to follow in our footsteps.
像它这种车子就是以前我小的时候在玩的，叫做越野车啦。
With the passing of time and new trends replacing the old, Chen Wuliang has witnessed the rise and fall of his industry.
We had to rush through our lunch breaks and make conversations short. Sometimes when the phone kept ringing, I just wanted to check it out.
Despite the tough working conditions and having to get his hands and clothes dirty, the motorbike repairman is happy as long as he can bring a dead engine back to life.
I only go home to sleep because I spend at least 12 hours at work each day. You see, if you are not motivated and not passionate about working in the industry, you will become tired of your job.
Over the past 30 years, Chen was often looked down by others for his line of work. But what makes him more upset is that people are not as friendly as they used to be.
We haven't received much education, so that's why some people look down on us. This is how I feel, having worked in this field for over 3 decades. In the old days, people were more friendly, but now they are not, and they think education is everything.
This 50-year-old bicycle was once his father's tool of trade, and Chen Wuliang keeps it as a reminder to always live a frugal life and work hard.
I kept this bike to remind myself that we must work hard and not forget about tradition. People nowadays, however, prefer using new technologies and throwing out old things.
Recently, the Tzu Chi Malacca DaAi Educare Center's kindergarten held a graduation ceremony for its 11th graduating class. The graduation ceremony means the beginning of a new chapter for these young ones who are already walking on the path of Tzu Chi.
The 40 students from the 11th graduating class of Tzu Chi's Malacca DaAi Educare Center are performing a sign language musical to express their gratefulness to their parents and teachers.
I have to be filial to my parents and behave, not to hit my sister, but take care of her. The teacher has taught her well. She didn't used to do chores around the house or was often rude, but now she's polite and respectful and very understanding of our feelings as parents.
Chen Yuxuan's deep belief in adopting a meatless diet comes from her involvement in the Water Repentance Sutra when she was 5 and 6 and from attending DaAi Educare Center. Kneeling down as they present a cup of tea and a big hug, these simple gestures move parents greatly.
The Water Repentance Sutra taught me that I need to be grateful for my parents, as my mother has been taking great care of me since I was born.
Understanding the meaning of gratitude, these youngsters are already walking on the Tzu Chi path.
Back to the United States at the end of the show, on November 18 Eastern Standard Time, New York Chief Controller John Liu announced to the mainstream media that Tzu Chi will fundraise $10 million to help Hurricane Sandy victims. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for tuning in. Goodbye.